You're watching my favorite YouTube channel. It's Chillmonger with some news. Let's go to my first guest. Hall H of SDCC has been canceled for Marvel. What do you say, Killmonger?
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Some people have that opinion. I think I'm one of the people who have to have that opinion. That Marvel canceling their Hall H is a good news story. I'll read that, but I want to prep everybody, so we're going to get there slowly. This is important. It's not just filling time. This is important. And as people come in, it's maybe it's to the advantage of this stream before I get to the meat of the potatoes. SDCC from 2024. Let's look at what they had last year. And we know that the biggest news story, of course, was Robert Downey Jr. telling everyone he's playing Dr. Doom. I still think he's playing Iron Man. We have Deadpool and Wolverine. Let me actually fix this screen. I'm on the side there. We've got Deadpool and Wolverine. This movie came out like a day before Comic-Con. I think it released on July 25, I think. So Deadpool and Wolverine, a choir came out. They sang, do we really want that? So I guess Fantastic Four would be the movie. Do we want an old times choir singing about what's fantastic? Nah. Let's look at Captain America Brave New World. What exactly happened? Up first, Marvel shared a new look at Brave New World, teasing Anthony Mackie's next adventure as Sam Wilson. Mackie took the stage. Tim Blake Nelson, Daniel Ramirez, Giancarlo Esposito, who confirmed that he's playing Seth Volkir, a.k.a. Sidewinder, the leader of the Notorious Serpent Society. So basically, a movie came out, which is coming in February, and it was July. So 7 months out. And when the movie came, they told everyone what cast members they were playing. That was it. Thunderbolts, they had a big panel. An unconventional group of Marvel misfits took the stage. Feige and Delaney welcomed Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier, alongside Geraldine, blah, blah, all these names. As the rest of the co-stars lined up on stage, Harbor greeted the crowd in full costume as the Red Guardian. So that's what happened last year. Somebody came out in full garb. Let me just join in Mike. Hello, Mike. Hi.
Hello.
I'm going over SDCC 2024 before I make my point for 2025, okay?
Okay.
So we had Thunderbolts show up, and basically somebody is going to come up in their suit. Now, is that special?
Yeah, your audio. Oh, no. There.
Can't hear me.
There you go. Well, it sounded like you were underwater for a little while, too.
Okay. I don't really want somebody coming in their suit. Oh, I'm this character from this movie. So, and they don't even have much to advertise. What we want Yahya Abdul-Mateen in his Wonder Man suit. Nice crowd. So we got Avengers, and yeah, we got that big news, which people liked. And I would like if they said, we're recasting T'Challa. Here's the new actor. I guess that would be the equivalent. But since they're not doing that, they're not doing that. That was last year's Hall H, and that was on their website of Marvel. They just talked about the movie that just came out, which was Deadpool. And for us this year would be Fantastic Four. Then they talked about the movies that they've got. It's so lame. And they've got TV shows this year. Don't get me wrong. They've got the Daredevil got a new season that should be coming out that they could probably hype. Ironheart, Vision Quest. Maybe they could officially announce that because they haven't officially announced that. You see how this year's Comic-Con wouldn't have been that great, you think?
Are you asking me, or is that a rhetorical question?
I think it started as a rhetorical, and then I threw it to you. Yeah, just give me your opinion on last year's Comic-Con and how special was it out of 10? What did you think?
I guess it was okay. I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of San Diego Comic-Con, or San Diego for that matter. But the fact that they, I mean, I guess if for this year, they wouldn't have Ironheart, and they wouldn't have when does Fantastic Four come out? It's at the beginning of July, correct?
It's the same weekend. It's like a day before.
Oh, really? So yeah. Wait. When is San Diego? Is it at the beginning of the month or the middle?
In the end. San Diego comes in July 26.
So if there was a way they could push it up, and then maybe I could see them doing something at San Diego. But that way, I don't think they would want to do that, because that would basically, all the people that potentially would go see it the opening night will be at the convention. Although they could have had a big screening or something with everybody there, the entire cast and whatever else,
They could. And how special would that be?
I guess, but at this point, I mean, why? Look, yeah, you want to hear? You want to hear something? Here's an insider thing. Back in the days, actually, because the location that I'm at right now, the one that you showed that one time with the Black Panther window, that's my second location. I used to be next door, which was half this size. And then in 2014 is when I moved over here. But before then, I used to be next door, and they had two big ass windows on the front, and the door was in the middle. So every Wednesday, or roughly around Wednesday, there would be a DC rep that would call and say, "Hey, Mike, do you want anything? Is there anything you need or whatever, you know?" And I'd be like, "Hey, well, you know, I could use this or I could use that." But it would always eventually lead up to the sales pitch. Like, "Hey, we have this new Sandman trade collection coming out, or we have this new," and I'm like, "Dude, I can read previews. I know exactly what's coming out. You don't need to call me every week for that." So there was one week where I said, "Hey, you know what? I have these big ass windows, one on each side, and I would like to have Marvel on one side and DC on the other side. So if you could send me some promotional posters, I'd appreciate that." "Oh, well, I'd like to, but you know, we're packing them all up for San Diego." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you know what though? Once that weekend's done,
Yeah.
my store is still going to be here. So maybe you might want to take that into consideration when you're stocking all this stuff up to give away to people that are either just going to flip it on eBay or throw it in the garbage or whatever, you know?" But yeah. And then the next year they discontinued that program. So, but yeah, so I, as far as San Diego is concerned, you know, whatever. Just you know, I get what you're saying. But I would rather have Marvel take a year off, get their shit straight, and then come back, because they have the characters, they have the capital, I guess, to come back strong, you know. And I mean, they just keep. I mean, look what's happening with the. I mean, I guess they could have done.
You got look. All I asked you was, how did you like last year's? Missed opportunity, if you ask me. They should be there to least reveal the rest of Phase 6. But now DC has a chance to potentially dominate with more. You say
either that or I froze. No, there you go. Okay. Did I freeze or did you freeze?
Yeah, we'll just continue going. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, no. So, I mean, maybe they could have done a thing where they could have leaned into the comic books this year, because they're doing that Deadpool Batman crossover with DC. But,
yeah, let's comic book. This is the movie conversation right now.
Okay, so there we go. So yeah, no, they have no movie coming out for the rest of the year, so why bother being there? Ironheart would be in June. You don't care about Eyes of Wakanda or
Wonder Man, that is something that's coming in August. It would Marvel be like Zombies in a week later.
Nobody, but yeah. So if you don't care about it, why would anybody else care about it?
Yeah.
So why bother? Why expend all that effort into putting a half-assed presentation?
Okay. Yes. DC has the potential to dominate with more possible announcements for the DCU. And that's where I have to go and say that DC's been quiet. They've been silent, right? They've been waiting to pounce. I agree with that, what Darkness Under the Wind is saying over there. Lance says canceling and just not having one planned like in years past are two completely different things, to be honest, and they still will have a presence.
Oh, I'm sure they'll have a booth and all that, but they just won't like do Hall H or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah, but Lance was being like one of those, well, actually, it's not cancellation if they never announced it, is it?
Well, no, because you did that thing with, what was it? What was the thing they just recently, the Black Panther video game. And it's like, okay, so did they cancel?
That was actually going to be the stream today before this news just popped up. That was going to be
Did they cancel the video game? Or they canceled the studio is closed, so you can't do the video game if there's no studio to do it.
The studio only existed for the video games.
Right.
They're not doing another video game. So they canceled the game. They canceled the studio in the same. It's such a semantics conversation.
It's not though, because canceling the video game is one thing. Canceling the studio, shutting the studio down is another.
I don't like these like bad faith arguments. Like, what are you talking about?
How is it bad? How is it bad faith?
It's okay, then maybe it's a naive argument. It's like, no, they canceled the studio. That's different. The game was canceled. The studio was canceled in one fell swoop. One move resulted in the same thing.
Correct. But it's not like Marvel had a thing against T'Challa the way you would promote it. That's what I'm saying. What's up, Basco?
Hi, Basco.
At least in this instance, maybe for others. Did that Iron Man game ever come out? Because there was like an Iron Man. There was supposed to be like 3
It's
games.
in development. Mike, stop all your hate. What exactly do you like?
Oh, I like
Yeah.
beating you. I like beating you at versus, Danny. I mean, that I love. Dude. That's one of my favorite things in the world.
What are the crown icons in the chat? I want one. I don't know. I don't see them right now. What's going on, Rhea?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's read. Let's read this.
Yeah, they are. Apparently, like, I guess the more you chat, the more you get the crown or whatever for people in the chat. So, yeah.
Is that? I don't think that's fair. I want to treat everybody equally in the chat.
Hey, you have all the stars behind you, bro. So I wouldn't talk. Okay.
The Heat Vision. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Let's read exactly how this broke to us. On Wednesday, a few dozen people showed up for the Regal Long Beach for a mystery screening, and it was the Fantastic Four First Steps, and Kevin Feige was there. We won't spoil anything, nor will we reveal anything from the post-screening discussion. Suffice to say, the movie is 8 weeks away. That's 2 months, an eternity in today's movie-making world, and still being worked on. Okay. Marvel has traditionally eschewed test screenings, being famous for using friends and family screenings as feedback instead. But that slowly changed because of Deadpool last year. They also means that certain details in plot and reaction leak and add chum to water for the haters. Who wrote this? Who wrote this?
But I don't like that. They shouldn't be doing this. These people. This is one of the reasons why we, as retailers, wouldn't be able to get the books until the week they were able to come out, because certain retailers, certain people can't keep their damn mouth shut, and so that means that all of us have to suffer, and we have to wait to the last minute to get these books. So I don't like them doing this, because people. You've met people on the internet. You know how they are. Yeah, so you know how they are. So you know they're going to be giving stuff away. And I actually did hear that apparently there was only 25% of the footage done, or the special effects were done or something. At least that's what what's her face from New York, Randolph said. That somebody said, she said that she heard that or whatever. And I'm like, that makes no sense whatsoever, because they've been working on this for almost a year. I think like a year and a half or whatever. There's no way there could only be 25%. Maybe they showed them an older version, so they didn't get to see everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably.
Show them, I would do that. But yeah.
With Avengers,
maybe show them where Galactus was a cloud or something,
Okay. Test screening aside, Fantastic Four opens the Friday of Comic-Con, and this year Marvel will break with tradition and not have
Chill, we did not hear you, unless it was just me. We did not hear you at all. I saw the blue. Yes, you were. I guess you were reading it, but then your thing did a refresh and it came up. Okay.
Test screenings aside, Fantastic Four opens the Friday of San Diego Comic-Con, and this year Marvel will break with tradition and not have its infamous senses-shattering Saturday evening Hall H panel. With Avengers Doomsday pushing out to December of 2026, Marvel now has another SDCC before the film's theatrical release. The cast of Doomsday is currently in production, and it didn't feel like the right timing for a Hall H panel. At least that was the thinking inside the company. They're right, though. Before I keep reading, that's a great point. Is it really the right time to have a Hall H? We're in the middle of this huge major production. Thunderbolts didn't work. There's Tritina, do you want to join? Hey, what's up? We're in the middle of this huge production.
Hey,
I think that Hall H isn't so important. You know that DC hasn't revealed a damn thing in like 2 years since the big January 2023. This is Gods and Monsters Chapter 1. You know they're sitting on some announcements. You know they're going to win, right? It's competition, isn't it? And they want to be able to leave the weekend knowing that. You're like, bro, why the hell would I do a Hall H presentation? I don't even have an Avengers movie that's going to come out in the next 12 months. I'm good. I'm going to pass on this year. I skipped 2023. I skipped 2021. I know they skipped that one. You're actually better off. I don't have much to talk about. I'm going to show you. Go ahead, Tina.
I'm agreeing. They don't have anything to talk about.
They don't have much to talk about. They have things, but Eyes of Wakanda, Vision Quest.
Yeah. Well, Vision Quest hasn't went into production yet. They use Hall H to talk about like movies. They don't have like movies to talk about.
I should pull up their slate.
There's no slate. Doomsday and Secret Wars. That's it.
Spider-Man Brand New Day. They
yeah.
probably have some footage from that. Maybe the director could come. Maybe Tom Holland in a suit could come out. Avengers.
Have they ever announced Spider-Man at Comic-Con though?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Maybe
I think that's Sony. That's more of a Sony production.
They could announce Armor Wars or Black Panther 3 or Blade or Untitled Shang-Chi, X-Men castings. They could do that, I guess. But even then, we wouldn't expect to see that in the next 12 months. Let's go to their TV shows. Let's go to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Maybe there could be a second season of that. And, would that wow the crowd really? Last year, they had Agatha all along. Remember when they all sang The Witch's Road? They sang. Remember that?
That wasn't at Comic-Con. That was at D23.
My mistake. Yeah. Daredevil Born Again, that's getting a second season. So, maybe people will be amped.
Actually, they're doing a second season now. It's already started shooting.
Then they'll have footage by July, wouldn't they? And they could announce that and, hey, let's all be happy. We were happy in 2022 when you announced it.
But you did hear what Tina said, right? Movies, right? We're talking movies. You were the one that made that designation before movies.
No, I'm with it. I just wanted to see what was happening on the TV side. Because they have done things like they brought up WandaVision during the 2019 Comic-Con. It was right after Endgame, and they said we're making a new TV show, and Falcon Winter Soldier's getting a show, Loki's getting a show. So Wonder Man, Daredevil,
Vision, but they were also launching Disney Plus too, so they needed to,
So when I look at that though, bro, I would cancel Hall H2. I would. If I'm Marvel, we just moved to Doomsday. Next year that'll be the big punch. We could even give our trailer for Doomsday because that'll be 5 months away from the movie.
Yeah,
that'd be a great time to give the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 90% sure Chill is being facetious. I'm just offering the argument. Yes, I guess that would be facetious, isn't it? I know.
There's not somebody said X-Men castings. They don't have a director, so they're not gonna announce no casting.
So what could they do? See, like I would cancel that shit. So and I'm glad that they made the decision right now, right today, right? Like you're not supposed to make that decision 5 months in advance or anything. About 2 months before, you probably float the idea. What do we actually do? We are moving the Doomsday movie and Secret Wars. They're both going to be December releases. Let's not do Hall H.
Well, wait, were they announced for Hall H?
No, I don't think there was ever an official announcement. Even DC haven't officially announced they're doing a Hall H yet.
Oh, so San Diego hasn't put out like a schedule yet for all the stuff that they're, the panels and whatnot.
No, not to my knowledge.
No. Okay.
Where would I look for that? The San Diego.
I mean, they should have something this close.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're like a month away, a month and a half away.
They probably have stuff that's tentative. Like I'm not buying no ticket and it's a blank website.
Yeah, right?
I need to know what's going on.
Hey, they did that for WrestleMania in New Orleans. They changed the date of that just like a week ago.
I think Chill froze again.
Chill's good. It might be you, Mike.
Thank you, Tina.
Is it me?
We need that third party. Yeah, it was you. It was you all along. DC said they weren't doing Hall H either, but here we are, LOL. Wait a minute. DC said they weren't doing it. Link me, Glimmercast. Give me a link to that report. Because I think if I'm DC right now and I see this news, I'm like, no. We're doing Hall H. No, book it. 8 o'clock Saturday. 2 hours. We need 2 hours. And then you can just come in, have David Cornsett all dressed up. It'll be a week. It'll be
after.
Yeah, it'll be after July 11th.
They probably shouldn't go either. They don't have nothing to announce.
Supergirl. We haven't seen footage from that.
It?
We can also celebrate the goodness of what Superman accomplishes. If it's a win, they could even say a sequel to Superman is coming out.
Yeah,
they could announce more castings. Who's the new Batman? That would be fire.
I don't think they know.
Yeah,
both of these studios are in influx right now.
Okay, is it me?
They're in influx.
It is you.
Yeah, I think it's you, Mike.
Okay,
keep going. They're in influx.
Yeah, I think both of them are in influx. Like. The budget for Superman is insane. I don't even know how. Like, what is the barometer for success for that movie? I don't know.
It would have to gross $800-900 million. It was like Wakanda Forever, where the budget was just unnecessarily too high. How long is the length of the movie?
I've seen reports of 2 hours to 220.
Good.
They did say they're trying to cut it down. They're trying to get a lot of stuff out of that movie. You don't want it to be overstuffed.
Well, as long as that stuff makes sense, though.
It's James Gunn. Some of the ain't gonna make sense because it's him.
like a dog seeing a dead Superman and just like pouncing on him. That's funny. I guess it served a purpose. DC said they weren't doing Hall H, but here we are. Plus the rest of the first chapter of the DC at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't think
What
that rest.
chapter?
What first? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have nothing.
Talking about this Creature Commandos. I guess they could talk about that. They could announce Waller will actually happen. Viola Davis comes on stage. They could, but that's a TV
they don't
show.
have nothing. None of this stuff is cemented. None of it is, except for Creature Commandos.
Lanterns.
But you want to use Hall H to talk about movies. I don't care about lanterns. I'm not gonna make no money on lanterns. I need y'all to come pay for movies.
Okay,
I mean, I care about lanterns, but it's like, okay.
I agree with you. I agree with your assessment. If Lanterns is so successful, they could get a movie out of it, but then that would be too early to do at this year's Hall H, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because that's how he shot his foot, shot himself in the foot before. He announced all of this stuff way ahead of time and said, "We're not going to do any of this without scripts. There's no scripts to nothing. None of this stuff has made it into development because I'm telling you what happened. They looked at that budget for Superman and said, whoa, we are not about to green light none of this stuff until we see what happens with Superman." Like, it's crazy what DC has going on.
He's the Kathleen Kennedy when it comes to announcements and promising. But you said until we see what happens with Superman. By July 25, we'll have July and maybe 26, 27, we'll have enough knowledge of what's going on with Superman. And they could be like, yes, their plans were there. Wonder Woman, I'm finally going to reveal who that is. The title of Justice League coming in 2028. He might actually give us now. There's 3 years out. That might be something that we could look forward to. That's what I would do. Justice League, tell us the date in 2028. That's what I would do. And maybe something with Static Shock. And again, maybe a video game. Because he did say DC is going to have gaming and it's going to be cartoons. I know. And I hear what Mike and you guys are saying. Like, you got to get people in for the movies. And that's true. But still, something with Static as a video game would have been solid. Or Blue Beetle video game or something.
Yeah. What's the budget for Superman?
363.
363.
He says it's not. He fought that, but
who said that?
It's public knowledge. You can pull the when they applied for the tax credit in Ohio. You just pull it up and see. He lies. Like, there's nothing I hate worse in the world than a liar. Like, why would you lie? Why lie about that?
The reported budget for Superman is around 180 million, while some reports suggested a budget of 363 million. Director James Gunn has denied these figures, according to World of Real, whatever that.
You can look at that movie and tell that they spent some money on this movie.
It's on this page here. It's towards the bottom of it, and maybe it's like
we'll see. Tina, you didn't take this in consideration. Maybe he is
total
filing his taxes through the Donald Trump filter.
It could be. It could be.
You know, so
total production budget 363. It says there on this page. This is
unless they overinflated the budget to qualify for the tax credit. Like, it's one or the other. It's either y'all overinflated this budget to scam, or that's the real budget. Like, it's one or the other.
We got Kevin with this great insight. No one cares about DC. Kevin was a Marvel employee, guys. Kevin Davis with the Marvel. Yeah, yo, go Disney. Lilo and Stitch in theaters today, right? Got you, Kevin. Got you. Where we at? Actually, I gotta keep reading that article because we kind of stopped where they announced that they won't come to Hall H. Now, do you think it's a cancellation, or do you think it's a skipping, or do you think that we're just not going? I don't care how you characterize it. There is an expectation for Marvel to be on that stage and be happy and say, this is what's going on next. Here's a trailer. This is the title of something new. That we do expect that every single year. And so it is a news item if it doesn't come to fruition, even if they didn't technically advertise they would be there.
Yeah.
With Doomsday pushing out December, Marvel now has another SDCC before the film's release. The cast of Doomsday is currently in production. Didn't feel like the right timing for a Hall H panel. At least that was the thinking inside the company. Good job, Kevin. Marvel will still have a major presence at this year's Comic-Con with numerous panels about comics, games, and more. And sources tell Heat Vision that it will a massive footprint in the San Diego Convention Center with a fully redesigned and immersive booth that leads into the release of Fantastic Four. That's cool. They'll get a booth. Now, Mike, you're the comic guy. Does this thrill you that Comic-Con is going to have comics now? They'll have a massive presence.
Wait, seriously? Comic book to be at a comic convention? Get out. Wow. I'm impressed. How did this happen?
Comics and games and more. So yeah, that's what Comic-Con is, bro. It's a multi-genre event. And
so they're going to be there. They're just not going to be in Hall H. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the Heat Vision from Hollywood Reporter says there could be some surprises in store as well. And then they defend him. It's not the first time Marvel skipped Hall H due to timing. Marvel operates on the go big or stay home ethos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, is this article not glazing Marvel? You see, it's not the first time Marvel did it, so it's normal. Nothing. There's no panic. There's nothing to worry about here. They either go big or they don't. This is Marvel Studios. Like, come on, bro.
But it's not just facts, though. I mean, I see what you're saying. They're trying to be a hype man for them, but it's all
it's
facts,
factual.
though. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not, very well done. But
it's not like saying people don't care about Marvel Studios or anything like that.
Uh-huh. She said, I DM'd you the article. To be fair, it is open to interpretation. Okay, I'll find it in a second.
But so is everything Gunn says. That's correct.
I'll read that right up next. And back to this guy. It's not the first time they skipped Hall due to timing. In 2011, the company was focused on shooting Avengers. In 2015, it didn't have footage to share. And in 2018, it had several films wrapping production, but nothing new to announce. Those were different from the time Marvel missed due to 2020, 2021, and then the Hollywood strikes for 2023. You know what? This was great insight. I take back yes. Thank you for telling me about that.
Times? Wow.
They've skipped it in 2011 and 2015 and 2018, and those are the valid ones that are like they actually skipped due to production, due to our this was our choice.
And nobody cared back then. They
and they had less projects. They didn't have no 3 movies a year, 3 TV shows a year.
People wasn't camping outside in 2011 to see what Marvel had to say. They wasn't that guy then. Not in 2011.
So 2011 doesn't even count. Good point. 2015 counts. Yeah, it was right after Avengers Age of Ultron.
Was it?
Yeah, 2015 May came Ultron, and then July would be in the Comic-Con.
Okay.
So they were busy with like Thor, Ragnarok, and they were busy with some of the.
I still don't think it was what it is now, because even when they announced Civil War, like they were in like it seemed like a smaller room. I remember Chadwick Boseman walking on the stage. It wasn't what it is now. It's like something happened.
That wasn't a Hall H though. That was at the Chinese or the El Capitan, one of those like LA venues.
Okay. So that wasn't Comic-Con where they announced.
That was when they announced Phase 3. That wasn't Comic-Con though. No.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, and I'm not like making that up. I know my stuff. I know that was a different venue. We go to this article a little more. Last year's Marvel Hall H presence was one for the ages, with Deadpool and Wolverine screening featuring Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. That's not exciting. Are you excited by that, guys? No,
I'm not.
Yeah, I've already seen the movie a day ago. I'm at Hall H. I'm a super fan. I know. At the start of the convention, and it had the theatrical reveal of Robert Downey Jr. And that's something. I'm not a starstruck guy, and I was confused by them saying he's playing Dr. Doom. My theory is he's playing Iron Man, but that is something, though. Oh my God, it's that Robert Downey. We know him. That was something. Marvel is still showing up at fan conventions, and tomorrow we'll have Fantastic Four at CCXP Mexico. Well, in this packed newsletter, we kicked it off with the scoop. There we go. Then we get to other news stories. Shout out to Andor. What's up, Andre Ware? What's up, Glimmer? What's up? Adnan says, Marvel needs wins, bro. Wins in a row for like 5 years. But not releasing anything this year means it's more special next year. Doesn't that make and they don't need to improve their reputation right now. They're fried. It's a wait until Avengers. So then come out with the bang of next year. Oh, Marvel's got their shit together, and there's a Spider-Man movie coming out also in 2026. And we got they just said the word X-Men. Finally, they said it. Wait, Deadpool's gonna have like the titles that they can announce could be awe-inspiring. Wait till next year, bro. Save everything.
I don't even think they have anything next year. What are they gonna announce next year?
Trailer for Avengers.
What else?
Maybe a couple castings, a recast of T'Challa, maybe if they want to. Yeah, I know. They could say, "Help me out, Mike."
Like what else? Well, what I will say, I think by next year they will have a director and cast for X-Men. So you could have a Doomsday X-Men announcement. By next year, they'll be further along with X-Men for sure.
You're friends with Bo DeMeo. Is X-Men? Yeah, I know. Is X-Men 97 without Bo DeMeo appealing to the regular fans? Because to me, it's not. It's like Aaron Magruder, who's not on season 4 of Boondocks. So I don't care.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Look, hey, they need to get that man some type of job back, and I think we're having a different conversation. I think they should put him on that X-Men movie. That's what I think.
Let's open up this article shared by what's her name? Rhea just gave us to us. James Gunn, no major plans for DC Studios at San Diego Comic-Con 2025. This was written in February 25 of 2025. This was a long while ago, and I think like this is where we go, no. We got to actually make a Comic-Con. We're going to have a presence. Fans have been chomping at the bit to get a closer look at James Gunn's DC since it was announced, taking over the franchise. While some had hoped for an appearance at last year's Comic-Con, it wasn't to be. It was simply too early, and Gunn was busy filming Superman. So many had hoped 2025 would be the studio stepping out in a big way at Comic-Con for the kind of splashy panels that DC Warner Bros. Used to be known for. That, however, does not appear to be the plan. Hollywood Reporter recently spoke with Gunn and Safran about their upcoming plans and mentioned that there aren't any major plans for DC Studios to be at San Diego Comic-Con. Okay, listen, if that was quoted, right? That was from the Hollywood Reporter. I'm going to have to believe that was how they felt in February of this year. As always, this isn't reference to the comic side, of course, which will surely be represented. The same way that in years when Marvel Studios skips Hall H, there's still a booth and plenty of creators and artists across the convention. It also potentially doesn't mean that there won't be any sort of panel. After all, Peacemaker returns in August. Yeah, he's actually said there's going to be a Peacemaker. I saw John Campio covering that on his channel, that Peacemaker is going to get featured. And James Gunn was responding to like a Twitter. No, it was a thread, an Instagram thread. And he said that we got it coming, and then there's going to be more when it comes to all the other stuff. Now's the time where you go, ooh, I get to have all the YouTubers. Me right now, I've got 32 people watching right now. Thank you for being here. Thumbs me up. But the 32 people who are part of my old Showmongers Live, let me watch it. They're all going to watch him talk about DC. You can't give up on those 32 people, James Gunn, because it's not just me. It's other content creators with their tribe of 32 people, some with like 300 people, all talking about it. You got to take over. You got to have your Comic-Con. You got to have your Hall H presentation and announce just fucking a title that's coming in 2028. Even that will get people hyped. And so
is it official? They're going to be there? James Gunn's going to be there?
He has to make it official now. It's not official. He's only there for Peacemaker.
Up in the air.
He's there physically for Peacemaker. He's going to do that. John Cena's probably going to dress up, act all Peacemaker-y. That's happening for sure. He's confirmed it.
Oh, well, yeah, then you can talk about Supergirl for sure. Peacemaker, Supergirl, and Lanterns. I really want to hear about movies at Comic-Con, but if this is all you got to work with, Creature Commandos.
What else do they do at Hall H, though? Like Transformers, Ninja Turtles? Who's going to take that Saturday prime?
They got it. There's no Game of Thrones. It's all DC. It's all DC.
Lanterns.
I definitely would seize the moment. I definitely would.
Yeah, totally. Mike, are you still there?
I am.
Voice up. Let's hear what you got to say.
Much like Marvel, I have not much to say about this.
That was very good. James Gunn needs to practice his presentation skills. Kevin Feige is a good master of ceremonies when it comes to what he's got to announce. James Gunn, this is your chance to do it. You were a panel guest, or you were a person who he would introduce. The Guardians director. Hi guys, I'm James Gunn. Now you gotta be the guy, and you're trying to put yourself in that position. I saw you in those commercials for advertising Superman. I've seen you make these public appearances, and I think that's wise. I think making James Gunn a brand, like Stan Lee is the brand ambassador for your project. You can't have Superman in every movie, but you can have this recognizable face telling you this is going to be a great movie every single time. Make him the Stan Lee figure, and he's got to do some practice with it when it comes to crowd reception. He's got to film something, not film, but he'll be filmed at Comic-Con. He should do things that they could take as a clip and say, James Gunn lights up the crowd when he says this. Like, they can make him a fun, like a pro wrestling character, basically. People wrestle, but they also have those pro wrestling managers who are theatrical. You know, the Paul Heymans, right, Mike? Make James Gunn Paul Heyman.
What if they are preparing something and he just doesn't want to put it out there? They'll surprise people. When you put out,
I need to know so I can buy a ticket or not. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a DC fan, I would like to, I want to know.
but then don't take this personally, Tina, but then you're the type of person that I wouldn't want coming there, because you should be there for the comic books. This should be the cherry on top of the sundae. The entire Sunday is the art form of comic books, where you get to see the artists and the writers, and you get to talk to the comic book companies and tell them what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. And then at the end of the evening, you go to this big dramatic presentation at Hall H, whatever, if it's DC or Marvel. That's how it should be. That's how these things should be. But it's been overcome by the people that don't necessarily know that comic books still exist, or comic book stores still exist, or that every Wednesday is when they drop new comic books, new chapters that could potentially be adapted into these things.
Not 1999.
They're going to be able to have presentations for in Hall H later on down the line. See?
Get him, Tina. Get him.
In this world of capitalism, I just don't think the people at Comic-Con care. They just want people to buy tickets. And I have been to a lot of cons, and I only go if it's somebody there I want to see. Like, that's just honest. I'm only gonna pay my $80 to $200 if it's a panel that I want to go to and it's someone I want to see. I could go to my comic book store. I don't need to go to Comic-Con to go to my comic book store.
But that's where you
I'm going to the event. I want everything.
But you get the conglomeration of all the artists in one spot, in one location. That's something that you don't necessarily experience unless, your comic book store happens to pay the extra money to get the artist to come in and do a signing or whatever,
Well, that's why I said it depends on who's going to be there. Like, I went to a con where
but then you're throwing in the artist then too. See, then that's good. But if you're just like, no, I want to see, what TV shows they're going to talk about. They ain't going to talk about TV shows, and I'm not going. Like, that's the thing.
I'm more on the film side though, because I just went to a con a couple months ago, and the creator, the writer for X-Men was there, but it was for the movies. I'm just on the film and TV side. So I went to see the guy who played Iceman, the lady who played Phoenix. I'm just going blind on names right now. Now, did I go stop at some of the booths? Did I talk to some of the people there? Yes, but I'm the customer that's just not necessarily going for comics, because I'm just more on the film and TV side. That's just me. But I did go to some of those comic panels though.
There were more of you than there were of the comic book people.
I don't know. I don't want to say. I feel like these cons now are so vast. It's just not pinpoint to comics. Like, there's DJs there. Some people going for food. Some people are just taking their kids. Well,
I can say that definitely for San Diego, the emphasis is not on comic books. One year they had, did you ever see the show Scrubs?
Mm-hmm.
The dude that played the janitor, he had a TV show that was kind of like a male version of Roseanne. About everyday life and stuff like that. They had a panel at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con.
Penguin season 2. Yes, that would be a great thing. People would like to see that on HBO Max.
No, they need no.
And
No.
also, Colin Farrell and the other chick said that they would only do it if the story was up to par the first season. So
People would be
Some
amped for
things
that.
need to just be what they are. Do not make a season 2 of Penguin.
You know you're in the minority. You know that most people will go, "Oh, more of Penguin. I like these characters."
Those same people said, yes, more Joker too, and we saw what happened. Some things you just need to, when you have struck gold, some things just let it be. Because as someone who watched the Penguin and loved the Penguin, it started to get repetitive. It did. You got the Penguin, he gets into a bind, he escapes. Next episode, he gets into a bind, it escapes. So I'm like, I don't want to keep watching. Leave it where it's at. Leave it. Do somebody else. Do Catwoman. Do Harley Quinn. Like, that's something I would like to see.
They did mention her at the end.
Darkness says Penguin is a masterpiece. She didn't say it's not. She likes it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Grace Randolph is gonna hate the idea of James Gunn as a brand
I
ambassador.
would too.
Bro, give this guy a freaking catchphrase. Actually record it and put it on your streaming service, unlike Marvel, who never does that. Put it on streaming service and just hold the whole presentation. Now you would edit it and you would spice it up, right? No dead time and ums and uhs. You'd edit all that stuff out. But you could actually present something that will make people amped for your product. And like, it's so easy to do. James Gunn can do this. He can be the Paul Heyman. He can be that character, that not character, representative, let's say. He could be that. And he should focus on doing that this year. He's not going to get a layup like this for another 4 years. When's the next time Marvel's going to skip a Hall H, right?
So wait, are you saying he could be their wise man? Is that what you're saying?
Like, he could be their wise man, yes. Who's the tribal chief of DC? Super?
I think what frustrates me about James Gunn is
she has no time for this.
I don't know who he is or what he is as far as like where he stands in the company of DC. Because to me, I hired you to be an executive. I would like for you to be an executive, but you want to write all the shows, you want to direct all the shows, and then you want to be the front-facing man. He's doing a lot. He's doing a lot.
He's like what Jeff Johns used to be. Jeff Johns, they put him in charge of the comic books. Him, Jim Lee, and Dan DiDio, they were in charge of DC at the time. And then he just wanted to write books. He didn't want to be an executive, but he took the spot for whatever reason.
So what if at Comic-Con we get something unprecedented, right? It's not an actor. It's not a movie title. It's just, look at, these are the executives right now. This is our parliament. Is parliament the right word? Marvel has a parliament. This is our parliament. Here's Jeffrey Thorne. Here's, just qualified people. And you got like 4 of them. And you go, now this is the brain trust in which all of our DC will work through. And the TV shows are attached to our gaming and like everything. I'm going to run every idea by then. And they're going to give me their full honest take. And we've been through back and forth over the last year secretly. But I want to show you, these are the 4 faces. You got the white guy, the black guy, the Indian guy. You know how it is. And a girl. Come on, corporate world. So you got that, and everyone's gonna feel like, yeah, okay, that's our brain. Okay, that's who we get to. That's the Victoria Alonso. That's the Luz Esposito. That's who they got. All right, good to know. Good to know that they got their shit together. He could give that, and that's never been done by Marvel. I don't think they've ever tried to let you know how special Nate Moore was or Luz Esposito.
Well, no, those are producers. Nobody cares about them. They did have a writing committee that was, and I really hate to say, Brian Michael Bendis was a part of that, and Quesada, and I forgot who else was there. But people are dragging James Gunn because apparently he's going to be working off of Tom King material for Supergirl, and there's a lot of people out there that do not like Tom King. So for him to
he's part of that. That might not work out. Yeah, he's ex-CIA, isn't he? Or he's CIA. No one's ever ex-CIA. He's CIA.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that'd be such a wise thing to do. I personally don't have a problem with him, but I know there's other people do. Although there was that whole Batman number 50 debacle, but I don't know if that was his fault to begin with.
I'm curious. What was the Batman 50 debacle?
Oh, okay. Well, when the Batman, what was it, Rebirth started, Tom King was writing Batman, and he I think originally planned for a 100 issue arc. Okay, so obviously 50 would be the halfway point. They announced that Batman was going to get married to Catwoman in issue number 50. So what they did is they had multiple covers. There were stores that did custom retailer covers. They also had like, midnight things and, weddings and cakes, wedding cakes done and all that other stuff. And then I think it was a week or two before the issue came out, the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, one of those two, spoiled that there would be no wedding. Yeah. And after that, any extra dislike that Tom King had was compiled, was twofold, threefold, 100-fold, whatever, because of that. Now that I don't think was necessarily his fault. I don't know exactly who were the ones that spoiled it, that gave it to the New York Times or whatever. Somebody had to. But yeah, so.
I remember that was the same year that Rogue got married to her husband. It was advertised also as Shadowcat, as Kitty Pryde was getting married Colossus, and they swerved. And then Dan Slott married to the Thing, and he was like, "No, he's really getting married to Alicia in issue number 5. You can pick it up. Don't worry, guys, it's happening." That was a funny year. This is the time where DC should take over Hall H after today. Marvel's stupid decision. Now, Xavier, you called it a stupid decision. It wasn't a stupid decision. It was a great decision.
Yeah, if you don't have anything to talk about, why you're gonna look like a fool up there? Like, hey, we have a cartoon coming out at the end of the year, and yeah,
Wonder Man coming.
Make mine Marvel. Yeah.
How many punches should a Hall H have? If you're Marvel, don't even pretend it's this year. Just any random Marvel Comic-Con punch. How much punches do you want to leave? 4?
It's hard because every franchise is different. For instance,
yes,
I've went to watch like an interview with the Vampire panel before. I don't expect to have boom, 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 bam out of interview with I just want to know what's happening next season. Marvel has set themselves with a standard where that's an expectation. When y'all are stepping out, I don't want to hear that Doomsday is coming. You have trained your audience to let us know who's the X-Men director, who's the cast, what's going on with Blade. Like you have said that. Now the good thing with them canceling is you now have the ability to restructure and figure out how you're going to do Hall H moving forward. So I do like this. You can always pivot and change and retrain your audience. So there's nothing wrong with doing this.
And they also have New York Comic-Con in October. So it's not like San Diego. Let's stop with this. Okay. Stop.
What do they have in September? Disney's D23 Expo. And Bob Iger's not at Hall H. Bob Iger's there. You want to impress him, so maybe don't reveal things that you would rather have kept for D23, where your boss is present. And I can see that. I can see maybe we get something for D23. Well, we definitely get the TV shows at D23, right?
I could also see Daredevil at New York Comic-Con, because if they're still going to be shooting it in New York, all they got to do is like take a day off or whatever and hit the subway.
You're right.
Fine. And they'll probably be like at least halfway done maybe by then, by October.
You're the only one with expectations for Comic-Con at for New York Comic-Con in October. They jumped the shark with the Joker and disagree, Tina. It tracked and it was a great show.
I think it was an awesome show. I just don't think like they could do like another villain. Let's say the Joker. Find a cheap actor, don't get a superstar, and we could have a story where we're following the Joker and Penguin is running for mayor. Like there's a way to like do it without making it be about Penguin. You can have him come in and out, but let's have another story. We don't need another Penguin season 2.
I like that idea. It's in the same universe.
And I would like to see more of the Gimpler.
Is that a DC villain, the Gimpler?
Oh, sorry. I mean, the Riddler. I mean, he just looked too much like, the Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
So let's do season 1 of the Riddler, and it covers him. How does he escape from jail? The Penguin is going to meet him. So he'll be in some episodes, but not all of them. A Catwoman show would be great and interesting. Yeah, but Zoe Kravitz wouldn't do it. She's like big time now.
Yeah.
What's she doing?
She has the movie with Channing Tatum now. And I don't think I've ever seen her do a TV show now that I think of it.
Yeah, I don't.
But this isn't like, I mean, there's TV shows, but this isn't. I wouldn't consider stuff like this a TV show.
Okay, back to Marvel though. Good job. Thank you for canceling your Hall H presentation. San Diego Comic-Con is gonna suck because of it. But DC, bro, take advantage. I can't say that enough.
Yeah.
This is a great news story. This is a great news day. We're kind of cleaning up. They realize that there's a problem for them to do this, right? They're not going to just everything's okay type. This is great for us, like as fans of the genre who've been kind of disappointed. And we don't got to read their whole past and show you where they effed up, but we know that they flubbed up. This is.
How did you feel about them delaying Doomsday?
I didn't like it.
It was inevitable. It was inevitable. When me and Blue did a stream months ago, I'm like, the contracts are not done. They don't have a script. They haven't talked to Ryan Coogler. Like, it was so many things in flux that there's no way they could. Supergirl started filming in January to make next year's release, and they are just now filming Doomsday. It was no way it was going to make next summer. Impossible. They're too in flux. Things still aren't done.
Okay, I'm so mad that delayed it by so much. You could have delayed it to July, August, September. You had to go all the way to jump to December. Yeah, I know the Christmas month. I get it. It's a lot of money there still.
I still think that there's people that they're still trying to work deals out. I think there's people's schedules they're trying to work around.
This reminds me of something.
Do you wait 6 months for Elizabeth Olsen? I would.
I don't think she's that. Just her? She's the only one we're waiting on?
Well, no, I don't think she's the only one. I think there's a couple loose strings hanging out there.
Yeah. There's a source for Darius who told him that T'Challa would be recast. It's coming in Comic-Con. The only reason it won't come at Comic-Con is if one of the major trades leak it, and we're not going to do it at Comic-Con. Well, Comic-Con has come and gone. It's not happening. And that really changes the way I think. Even when I did Recast T'Challa trending, then I decided for it to be on July 1st. That was knowing that Comic-Con is coming later in July. And if we can get that energy going, we could influence what they do at Comic-Con. If it was up to me, I probably would have made it August 6th of Eyes of Wakanda. If I could change it, I think it's too late now. I've said July 1st too much. I would have made it August 6th, Eyes of Wakanda, the same day that releases. Everyone's saying Recast T'Challa. You know, someone's tweeting about the show. You're saying, where's T'Challa?
Right.
Or you can't just age Toussaint if it's not that they want to do when they want to like travel through time during Eyes of Wakanda, and then Toussaint gets older here, gets older there, and now he's an adult. You see, guys, we've recasted. Yeah, that's what I wouldn't have wanted. But SDCC and them skipping it changes my Recast T'Challa strategy immensely. The things that I say, the things that I don't say, the things that I've sit on. I don't know.
I still think it's up in the air. I still don't. Until they really sit down with Ryan Coogler and they have a comprehensive conversation on what is going, like, you just cannot do it. And that has been the problem with Marvel. People have not been talking to each other on all these different projects. So it's no way that we could possibly believe that the Russos was about to recast T'Challa and then hand whoever they pick over to Ryan Coogler and say, deal with it. No, that has to be a collaboration. They have to say, hey, what are you doing for Black Panther 3? And they have to work around him. He don't work around them. That's his franchise. I don't care what nobody says.
What if Marvel isn't recasting T'Challa to make Ryan Coogler, to have him honor whatever the friendship that he had with Chadwick, to keep him, because they want to keep having a working relationship with him? Because like
they would never do that. That's why I always have thought that
never.
But that Ironheart trailer, he was all over it. Like they were emphasizing. That's what I'm saying. So that's why.
Hey, yeah, that shows us something.
Not doing that. Like,
it shows us there's a good relationship, and but proximity is producing that. So it's in his best interest of Ryan Coogler to make a proximity production work out. And yeah, I am the guy from Sinners, as they said during that featurette. So I don't think that, maybe you're wrong when it comes to they want to keep Ryan happy. Maybe.
No, they definitely want to keep Ryan happy, especially after Sinners.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's why they're not recasting T'Challa.
It's not just Ryan who said it.
His portrayal of T'Challa, the Black Panther, is iconic and transcends any iteration of the character in any other medium from Marvel's past. And it's for that reason that we will not recast the character.
Look, if Ryan Coogler wakes up tomorrow and say, "Hey, let's recast," they gonna do it. It's up to him. It's up to him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's up to him.
Good talk.
Has there been conversations? Yeah, for a variant, like I told y'all a long time ago, that people were meeting because they wanted to do a variant, but that was going to be something separate from what he had going on. Yeah, we'll do a variant. Cool.
Hey,
And
yo, look,
if I'm dancing interest, no, I don't want to be a variant. Call me
it is.
when Ryan's in the room.
Mhm.
It's Damson Idris. And he probably did say, no, I'm not playing a variant. You better make me T'Challa, the one that's going to be in all of the... And it better not be Shuri's little nephew, Toussaint, who gets older. I want to be the actual character.
Nah,
Respect.
he ain't say that.
I think he did say that.
All them men want to know is where's Ryan Coogler? If I'm going to do anything BP related, how's Ryan Coogler feel?
You think that plays a part? Yeah, I'm not in Hollywood. I'm sure
Of
that's a
course.
mentality.
Of course.
Oh, I just said something on my mind. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, the time. So this was an emotional impulse. The further away we get from Chadwick's death, the more reason for logic. So delaying Avengers Doomsday, it makes it further. Delaying the Comic-Con, delaying Black Panther 3, delaying, always is going to be seen as a good thing if it means that the most profitable Black character, the most racially significant, the impactful, the by a mile highest grossing movie, Black character is back on screen. Ready to end it. Let's read your little live chats for the next.
I think we're getting a Black Panther for sure in Doomsday. For sure. You got to do it.
Black Panther. You're right. Black Panther. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Mike, are we getting Black Panther?
Sure. Well, wait. Shuri's going to be in there, so yeah.
This has to be the year of Marvel revealing the rest of Phase 6. But SDCC, we have to get the rest of the first chapter. What? Didn't you already write this? I think you wrote that already, Darkness. Did you not? Yeah, you wrote this already about Phase 6, but DC has a chance to potentially dominate. We already covered it, bro. Let's go back down to your Aldous Hodge makes watches. That's what Ryan Coogler said to Shannon Sharp when he didn't want to answer anything. 2026 is an insane year for releases. Really? What else do they have in 2026? He's talking about just films in general?
Wait. So Ryan Coogler doesn't like Aldous Hodge? What's going on?
When Shannon Sharp asked about Aldous Hodge playing T'Challa, Ryan said, he's a smart guy. He even makes his own watches, and he didn't answer the question.
Wow.
He was like, what you think about Aldous Hodge being T'Challa? He was like, yeah. He make watches, right? He real smart. He can do. That ain't what I asked you. I ain't asked you about no damn Nokia.
Blue says that I guess DC wins. And I think I know what she means, because I was betting with Darius who's going to win. And if I win, and you got to take off your hat. And if he won, then I had to shave my head or something stupid like that. Not happening. DC is going to be at Hall H and have a presence. Marvel won't. I think that makes me the winner. I think DC won, right? Or is it not valid?
Is it a technicality? This seemed like a technicality because they wasn't there to face off head to head.
Exactly. And they're working together at the end of the year, comic book wise. So yeah, I think we're in a new era. We're going to stop this tribalism shit. We really should.
That's a good take.
Because all it is toxic.
There is a Deadpool versus Batman crossover comic book, and that's going to be cool. 3 months from now. Look out for it.
This is why you never plan around people. DC should have always been going to Comic-Con. You should not be worried about what Marvel has going on over here. You should have already been planning to do this anyway. It's crazy.
Well, at least as far as New York is concerned, for the past couple of years, they've been like, there's the main room, like where everybody is, all the labels and all that stuff. And then there's an outer area, and that's where DC usually is. So they segregated themselves outside of the normal room, like it's in the outer area, and it's actually pretty cool. It's out inside, like there's a big glass wall and shit. It looks nice. It's where you go when you actually care about comic books.
I'm going to the comic book store as soon as I get off this stream with y'all. I'm going to go buy me some books.
Go ahead and pick up that Mr. Terrific Year 1 origin story of my boy here, Michael Holt. What's his name?
Michael Holt. Yeah, T-Spheres.
I'm still learning. Yeah, go check that out. Go to your comic book shop. Go check out us. Blues House is in the chat. I'm sure he's got a stream coming up talking about this. You want to buy comics, you live in Connecticut, shop at Rogue Comics. And if you're in Louisiana, say hi to Tina. She's friends with everybody.
I do not live in Louisiana. And Drayback, what are you lying about? I got a box of comics in here somewhere. I be buying my little comics. I do not live in Louisiana.
Now you don't live in Louisiana anymore?
I never said I lived in Louisiana.
I'm terribly misinformed. I'm sorry.
What?
I really thought you were in Louisiana. What? Because your time zone is.
Do I have a Louisiana accent?
I didn't bother to question it because I thought you were from there. I apologize for mislocate. Do you say where you're from or where you are at?
I think it's kind of obvious where I'm from, but it's okay. If you don't know, we're not real friends. I bet Blue know where I'm from.
Tina, Chill's Canadian. He's Canadian. They're different up there. They're
It
not
don't
like
matter.
us.
It
They're
don't
not
matter.
like us.
Me and Chill talk all the time. And
I thought you were from Louisiana. I'm so sorry.
Look, there we go, Blue. There we go. Why Blue know where I'm from?
So why do I think your time zone is different than my time zone?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I apologize. And and is there any way I can rectify the way I just gave you Louisiana?
It's okay. No.
You mislocated her. How dare you?
You mislocated me. But no, Louisiana is actually one of my favorite places to visit. So no harm taken.
Were you in Louisiana the first time we streamed? Is that why?
No. If I'm in Louisiana, I'm not streaming. I'm on vacation. You have never seen me even passionately speak about Louisiana, but what I do passionately speak about is racism in the South, Georgia, Mississippi. It's okay.
Maybe it's because you look like Lil Wayne.